Have a seat, today's tea is bitter, but still sweeter than the price the villain in this story is about to pay. May's red ledger has just turned to a new page. Are you ready to claim justice with Reddit Revenge Tales? What kind of love sounds like this? If you want, go be with other men. My gut says no. Coffee goes cold on the porch. 20 years together. I choose monogamy, not a hall pass. This doesn't sit right with me. It feels like a crack in our home. Is this fantasy? Or a red flag, I say, hard pass. He says I'm overthinking. That dismissal stings. If my number doesn't matter, what are we? If this hits home, type no or boundary. Below hit subscribe and follow minute by minute as I push for clarity and decide whether this is love or a deal breaker. Stay with me. Truth slips out next. I'm Laura, 54, tucked into a quiet cul-de-sac outside Columbus, Ohio. I run HR at a mid-sized distribution center off I-71 most days. I hear what people don't say. 2 adult kids out of state, a porch with chipped paint, a grocery list always half done. Mike is 61. We've been together nearly 20 years, but keep separate places. We meet a few days a week and treat the ordinary like it matters coffee on Fridays. Trader Joe's flowers, the dog's leash clinking by the door. We've handled hard things with doctors and patients. We still laugh in the aisle at Target, argue about nothing, make up by cooking the same old chili. I've never wanted new. I want the U.S. we've built small, steady, honest. I believe in one table, one set of keys, one promise said over and over in how we show up, which is why his sentence, the one that turned my coffee cold, hit like a draft under a locked door. I keep replaying it, testing it against everything we are. If love is a shelter, why did that line feel like weather moving in? The sentence still hangs in the air. Tuesday after work, my kitchen. Mike at the counter, the dog's tags ticking, the fridge humming, my spoon circling chili that's gone lukewarm. He repeats it easy as small talk. If you ever wanted to, you could. I set the spoon down and look up. Help me understand, what are you really asking? He smiles like it's nothing. I want you to enjoy yourself. Enjoy what being unmoored. The word lands sour. Please don't minimize my feelings. I say calm, but firm. This isn't curiosity to me. It cuts. He laughs a soft scoff and changes lanes, weather traffic, anything but this. That pivot burns hotter than the stove. Respect my no, I say. This is a hard pass. He taps the counter, eyes sliding away. The room feels colder, though the oven's on. I push the bowl aside. The ceramic knocks the wood and the dog startles. A day ago we were easy. Tonight the ground feels slick. If my boundary is a joke, then what is sacred here? Our bed, our vows, or just the groceries we split? He swallows, finally quiet. I steady my hand on the granite and ask again. Why keep asking? Silence answers me first. His eyes drift to the sink mine, to the place I won't cross. After the dishes, the house settles. Out back, the porch. Light hums Wednesday night. Mike a step from the rail. I set 2 mugs down. Steam striping the dark. The metal table cool beneath my palms. Let me be plain, I say. This isn't flirtation with an idea. It's a boundary. He lifts a shoulder like he's brushing off lint. All I meant was if you wanted. I don't, I say level. Not someday, not ever. I'm not built for it. Gnats orbit the bulb. A train moans far off. When you bring it up, it cheapens what we have. He laughs once short. I slide his cup out of reach and lay my hand over his so he can't wave this away. Hear me. This is non-negotiable. I'm not your thought experiment. His jaw knots. He looks past me into the yard. You're making it bigger than it is. No, I say. You're shrinking the bruise. I thumb the tiny latch on the screen door one clean click, and hold his gaze. If my no can't hold here, nothing else will. He nods thin as paper, and I wait to see if it will hold. That thin nod follows me into daylight. By noon, break room hum and the microwave's soft beeps. Wednesday at work. I'm alone at the end table. Phone face up. His text lands. You're overthinking. I feel the floor tilt. Don't wave off what I'm saying. I type, then backspace, then type again slower. I need real reassurance, not a shrug. Ice clinks in someone's cup. The vending machine groans. He replies. It was just talk. Just. The word scrapes. I step into the single-stall restroom lock, clicking cool tile against my spine. I call him. Listen. When you just it, I feel invisible. Silence, then a sigh. Laura, I didn't mean. Intent isn't impact, I say. I'm asking for safety for us. He exhales long, the line crackling. Can we drop it for now? I'm asking you to stop raising it at all. I set the phone on the sink, palms flat breathe until my voice evens. Tonight we talk plainly. No jokes, no detours. I pocket the phone paper towel, rasping as I dry my hands. Outside the door, the office keeps moving inside me. A red flag lifts higher, and I'm ready to name it out loud. That red flag rides shotgun all the way home. On the ramp off I-71 at dusk, alone, I kill the radio and let the turn signal click fill the car. Back at my kitchen table Wednesday evening. No one else here. I open the spiral notebook. The pen leaves a dark dot before the first word lands. I list what I need to feel safe, respect. Steadiness, one story we both stand in. I write the sentence he keeps tossing out and circle it hard. I try on his just talk, and it doesn't fit. I try on. Maybe I'm overthinking, and it feels like a lie I'd tell to keep the peace. I draw a box around monogamy capital letters, underlined twice. I don't have the bandwidth to revisit this every week. Intimacy isn't an errand. Fantasy isn't a to-do list. I stick a post-it on the fridge, non-negotiable. The hum of the compressor answers me. I text him one line. Tonight I need you present. Then I cap the pen with a snap that startles the quiet. I pour water, watch the glass sweat, and breathe until my hands stop shaking. The note on the stainless steel stares back like a promise I have to keep. That yellow post-it glows under the kitchen light like a signal flare. By night living room 9 o'clock, Mike on the couch, me in the chair across. TV muted, both phones face down on the coffee table. The AC kicks on a steady hush. I slide the remote away so we can't hide behind noise. I need plain words, I say. What are you really asking? He rubs the back of his neck. It turns me on to think about it. The sentence lands heavy. So it's fantasy, I say, and you want to drag it into our real life. He starts to shrug. I hold up a finger, wait. I'm not wired for that. I need us on the same page. He laughs once like I'm being dramatic. I lean forward and tap the post-it with 2 knuckles sharp small sound. This is my line. Non-negotiable. He looks at the floor. I didn't mean to hurt you. Intent isn't impact, I say. When you keep pushing, what we have feels cheap. He shifts to stand. I gesture to stay. Sit. Hear me out. He sits. If you want me, you choose this table, this life, not a hall pass. The air tightens. He swallows, then says, okay. Say what you need. Okay? Say what you need, he'd said. I did, and still it follows us. Saturday mid-afternoon. Trader Joe's lot. I'm at the open hatch, he's steering the cart. Paper bags rustle, a car alarm. Chirps 2 rows over. Keep that topic off our table. I say, tucking flowers into the backseat pocket. If it sneaks back in, we pause. We set a monthly check-in. We protect what's sacred. He grins like it's cute. I'm only saying it's an option. I slam the hatch. The thud makes a toddler turn. Not for me, I say. Options aren't neutral when they cut. He rolls the cart forward. The front wheel squeals. You don't have to make it a scene. I'm making it clear. I press the fob. The horn chirps. Say the words you won't ask again. He looks at the receipt, not me. Laura, you're intense. I push the cart back into the corral. The metal clacks loud. Intensity isn't the problem, disrespect is. He finally meets my eyes over the tailgate. Fine, he mutters. Drop it. No. I say steady. Promise it. The wind lifts the corners of the brown bag like a warning. He pockets the receipt jaw tight. We get in the car. The silence buckles in riding shotgun. That silence sits between us like a third person. On the drive up, High Street late afternoon, rain needles the windshield. I'm at the wheel. He angles toward the window. Wipers knock time, his phone face down in the cup holder. Is this really about me? Yeah, I ask, or do you want a loophole you can hide in? No loophole, he says low. It was for you. Then why keep pressing? He shrugs. The turn signal ticks. I take a slow right into the church lot and put us in park. The engine hushes and the quiet gets heavy. Name it, I say. Is this about aging performance control shame? He reaches for the radio. I lay my hand on the dial and stop him, gentle but firm. Don't dodge. Tell me the truth, so I know what I'm fighting. He stares at the rain beating on the hood. I don't want to lose you, he says finally, barely above a whisper. I worry I'm not enough. The words land like wet gravel. So you're testing me, I say. You're seeing if I'll leave first. He shakes his head fast, no, yes, no. Water drums the roof. Look at me, I say. He does. Say the whole of it. Or this gap gets a name I don't think we can repair. He said he feared not being enough. The words still hang between us. Parked in the church lot late afternoon, just us. I'm in the driver's seat. He's turned toward the window. The vent breathes on low, a thin fog silvering the glass. I nudge his phone deeper into the cup holder and take his hand. He lets me knuckles pale. Say the rest, I tell him. He swallows. Sometimes I feel broken, old, like I'm failing you. The heater ticks. We already faced that with doctors, I say. We solved what we could. The rest is tender, not a project to outsource. He stares at the crosswalk, light blinking red. Thinking about it felt like escape, he admits, voice thin. From the pressure. Fantasy can be a story we tell each other in safety, I say, or a knife we leave on the table. You keep handing me the blade. He winces. I press his fingers once. If you need novelty, ask for play, not permission to make me a stranger to myself. He nods, then shrugs like shame won't unclench. Name it clean, I say. Is this a test or a cover? He closes his eyes. Both. The wipers rest. Then hear me, I say softly. Either way, my answer is no. That no needs legs. After we pull out early evening booth at a strip mall diner off Morse Road, he slides in across from me. The server drops 2 waters ice cracking. The neon open buzzes at the window. I click my pen and write 6 words on a napkin. No more asks. Non-negotiable. Deal breaker. I turn it toward him underlined twice. He reaches for the menu. I set 2 fingers on the edge and hold it shut. Say it, I tell him. You won't bring it up again. He shifts eyes on the sugar caddy. Laura, I'm trying. Trying isn't a promise. I tap the napkin 2 clean wraps. He exhales. Okay? He says barely there. Say the words, I repeat. He looks up finally. I won't ask again. The line lands. I feel my shoulders drop an inch. Good, I say. Because if this surfaces again, we pause us. Not a fight. A full stop. His jaw tightens. That's harsh. That's a boundary, I answer. The coffee arrives. I wrap my hands around the warm mug, steadying the shake. Across the table, he nods once stiff. I tuck the napkin into my purse like a receipt for a promise I intend to enforce. The napkin in my purse rides home with me like proof of purchase. Back at the house, late, just me. Hallway closet yawns open. I drag down the shoebox of photos, dust lifting in soft clouds. The dog thumps his tail once and settles. On the dining table, I fan our years. Ohio winters in puffy coats. Lake picnics on plastic chairs. The first summer we tried to grow tomatoes and failed. I set one frame upright on the mantel. His arm around my shoulders. My head tipped toward him, like I knew where I belonged. The furnace kicks on. The glass warms under my hands. Show up for me. I whisper to the room, to the picture, to the man I keep choosing. My phone lights the wood with his name. I let it buzz out. I slip the diner napkin beside the frame, underline the words again with my thumbnail. When he treats my boundary like a mood, these faces argue back. This is the life. This is what's sacred. I switch off the lamp, leave the photo standing guard, and climb the stairs with the box hugged tight. Halfway up, a picture slides loose and skates to the landing. I pick it up, and the promise feels heavier in my hands. That loose photo us at the county fair, mustard on his shirt, stays on the table overnight like a witness. Morning kitchen island, Thursday sun low. He's a step away pouring coffee. I open a legal pad and draw one straight line down the middle. Help me name it. Clean, I say. On my side, monogamy means we protect what's here. On yours. He sets the mug down too hard. A dark ring spreads. Curiosity, he says. Novelty. Thinking, not doing. I slide the pen across. Write it. He hesitates, then prints the words small like they might hide. Here's the problem, I say, tapping the line. For me, intimacy equals attachment. For you, this is thought play. That's misaligned. He rubs his jaw. You're turning a fantasy into a fight. I point to the napkin from last night, pulled from my purse and flattened by my palm. I'm naming the cost. Every time you float, it our trust pays. He reaches for the napkin. I keep my hand there, one quick, firm block. No more asks, I remind him. He exhales through his nose. Okay. And one more thing, I add, sliding a blank sheet toward him. Tomorrow, we each list 3 needs. If we can't match there, we can't pretend here. He nods once, and the line down the page waits like a quiet verdict. That line down the legal pad won't leave my eyes. By lunch hour, corner table at the public library. Thursday. Mike across from me, elbows and a pencil rolling under his thumb. Fluorescent lights hum like bees. 3 needs each, I say. Read them out loud. I write safety, respect, presence. He writes play, novelty, freedom to think. He clears his throat. It was thinking, not doing. I nod once, thinking that cuts is still a blade. I circle monogamy in thick ink and draw an arrow to both our names. If we need play, let's say play. Not outsourcing us. He fidgets, tries to fold the paper. I set my palm over the crease, stopping the move. Say it plain, I ask. No more asks. We keep fantasy and talk only if invited, and even then careful. He stares at the window where a kid smears a handprint on the glass. Can I say? We might revisit someday. I slide the napkin from last night between us like a stop sign. No. If it resurfaces, we pause us. Not as punishment protection. He bites his lip, then nods slow. I hand him the pen. Sign your name to the boundary you say you respect. I say and wait while the point digs into the paper. His name in blue ink follows us home, like a promise that needs proof. By evening at his place, Friday I stand by the stainless fridge, and he leans on the counter. The dry erase marker sings while I print our plan. First Sunday check-in. Under it I write 3 lines in plain words listen without minimizing no talk about a hall pass repair, within 24 hours if either of us feels small. He reaches for the remote. I catch his wrist lightly and set his hand back on the island. Stay with me, I say. He nods. I add 1 more line in block letters. My no matters. Read it, I tell him. He does, stumbles once, then clearer. I add our safe word in the corner, pause and circle it twice. If either of us says it, we stop and reset. He exhales. Okay. I slide my spare key from my ring and set it on the counter. Soft metal kiss on stone. If this boundary breaks, I take a break too. I will not live braced for impact. He studies the key like it might burn. I cap the marker. The room goes quiet around the rules we just made, and I wonder which will hold first, us or the ink. Those fresh rules felt solid for an hour. Then the seams tugged. Late Friday, his living room. Lamp low. He's stretched out, I'm tucked into the corner chair. Sitcom laugh track chases the silence. A can of seltzer hisses open. He tosses it out like a pebble. Or there's always that hall pass half-smile eyes on the TV. I hit mute sharp click. Set the remote down hard enough to rattle the coaster. Pause, I say the word we circled in ink. He lifts both hands, joking stance. Kidding. Jokes tell the truth sideways, I answer. We wrote a line tonight. He snorts. You're making this heavy. I stand palm flat on the doorframe to steady the shake. You tested it within the hour. He reaches for my wrist. I step back 1 pace clean measured so there's air between us. Don't touch this like a toy, I say. When you minimize me, we stop. I pick up my keys from the bowl metal clink that turns his face. I'm sleeping at my place. He sits up, mouth open, nothing useful coming out. I slide into my shoes by the mat, the heel thumping once. If you want us, protect us, I say, and pull the door closed on his protest. That door, thud, rides with me into morning. On the High Banks Trail Saturday. We walk single file where the path narrows dew lifting, and gravel under our shoes. He keeps half a step behind like he knows this is tender. I am sorry, he says. I thought humor would make it less. I stop by the wooden mile marker and turn. Humor made it smaller. I will not live small. He reaches, then lets his hand fall, catching himself. Tell me how to fix it. Name what you did without the word just. I say. Promise you will not ask again. Ask what I need, then do it. His throat works. I brought it up after we agreed not to. I minimized you. I will not ask again. Good. Now ask. What do you need? Reassurance. Presence. No more pressure dressed as options. He steps closer and checks my face. Can I hold your hand? I nod. His fingers wrap mine warm and careful. One more thing, I add. If it slips again, we stop and reset instead of arguing. No debate. He closes his eyes, opens them steady. I hear you. The river moves beside us, quiet and sure. And I choose to test that promise 1 day at a time. His promise on the trail still warms my palm. By afternoon, my dining table. Saturday. Just us across the wood. A ballpoint clicks soft. The ice maker coughs once in the kitchen. Let's name it clean, I say. I print 2 words on an index card. Fantasy, reality. I draw a thick line between. This stays words only if invited, and never as pressure. That I tap reality as our life. 1 table, 1 story. He reaches like he might blur the line. I slide the card closer to me, steady, and shut his laptop with a firm palm, so no tabs pretend otherwise. I'm not your experiment, I add. I'm your partner. He nods, throat tight. I write 3 rules beneath no more asks. Talk only if I open the door. If it resurfaces, we stop and repair before anything else. He reads them out loud. I take a breath, then push a clean sheet across. Sign that you heard me. He signs slow, then presses the pen into my hand like a pledge. I tuck the card under the salt shaker center of the table where our food will sit. He watches it like it might move. I lift my eyes to him and say, "Now we live it." That index card sits under the salt like a small guard. By noon, Sunday in the car wash tunnel, water drums the windshield and blue foam slides in sheets. He rides in the passenger seat, turned a little toward me. My hands rest at 12 and 3. This is where trust shows up, I say over the hum. He nods, unlocks his phone, and hesitates. There is a feed I have been listening to, he says. It stirs this up. He holds the icon until it shakes. Show me, I say. He turns the screen. I read the title once and shake my head. He looks at me, taps, delete, confirms, and sets the phone face down in the cup holder. His palm opens on his knee like he will not hide behind a screen. I choose us, he says. The brushes thud past the car rocks. The light ahead turns green. Keep choosing, I answer. If it edges in, we say pause and fix it before the cut spreads. He nods and reaches for my hand. I let him. The dryer roars and the sun hits the glass. Clean for now, I think. Then I correct myself. Cleaned once. Let the week prove it. The road answered sooner than I hoped. By Monday night, my living room. Plates drying in the rack. He's on the couch angled toward me. I'm cross-legged on the rug. The remote clicks, Netflix tiles sliding. The ice maker coughs in the kitchen. 10 quiet minutes. And then soft like a dare, he says, "You know, there's always that option." I look up slow. We named this, I say. No more asks. He half smiles, eyes on the screen. Just saying out loud what exists. I press power. The TV dies to black. No, you're putting it back on our table. He snorts. It's not that serious. I walk to the counter and lift my spare key from the ceramic dish metal against porcelain, a clean ring that makes him flinch. Hear me. If this keeps surfacing, it's a deal-breaker. He reaches for the remote. I place my palm over it and slide it out of reach. Stop treating my no like foam you can skim off. He sits forward, elbows to knees. Laura, I won't live braced, I say. Pocketing the key. The room feels colder than it is. He laces his fingers, says nothing. I grab my coat from the hook thumb the deadbolt and tell him the truth he doesn't want. If you can't keep this boundary, you don't get me. The lock turns and the night takes me back. That metal weight in my pocket keeps me from softening. By Tuesday morning, my porch. Frost on the railing. I'm in a sweater with coffee and a list. He's on the bottom step, hands bare, breath white in the air. He doesn't climb until I nod. I messed up, he says first. I broke the line we drew. He pulls a folded printout from his jacket, confirmation for a couple's consult. Friday at 9 slides it to the table, then sets his phone beside it unlocked. I unsubscribed from the feed. Deleted the podcasts. Put a screen limit on myself, check. I scroll. The tiles are gone. The limit's set. The calendar invite pings my email a second later. Action matters, I say. He meets my eyes. So do words. I lean back. Say the words I asked for, not the shrug. He squares his shoulders. No more asks. I respect your number. I will show up when you need reassurance, and I will not minimize you. The railing chills my forearms. The honesty warms my chest. Good, I say. Here's mine, I'll meet you Friday. But if that line blurs again, we pause us, no debate. He nods, jaw set. I set his confirmation under the porch candle and let the flame catch the edge of my doubt. That porch flame from yesterday keeps me steady enough to walk in. Friday morning, 3rd floor suite off Cleveland Avenue. Neutral carpet, a wall clock, ticking a small fish tank burbling. Mike beside me on the love seat. Intake forms on clipboards. Pens, scratching. I say at first Clear Fantasy stays words only by invitation. No more asks. If either of us says, pause, we stop and breathe. He repeats each line, voice rough, then firmer. The counselor nods and hands us index cards. I print pause in block letters and slip mine into his wallet. He enters a Sunday check-in on his phone, then programs a 24-hour repair reminder. Action, I say, and language. He looks at me. I respect your no, he says without flinching. I pull my spare key from my coat and set it on the cushion between us. The counselor glances at it, then at me. I'll hold this for a month of quiet, I tell him, and close my hand over the metal when he reaches. He nods once. We sign the card, both of us, like a small contract. In the parking lot, sunlight shocks the gray out of the morning. He threads his fingers through mine. Tonight, he says we put it to work. We put it to work sooner than we'd like. Saturday evening, Claire's backyard off Bethel Road. String lights grill smoke, cornhole bags thudding. I'm at the picnic table, he's hip to hip with me. Someone's Bluetooth speaker leaks 80s hits. A neighbor jokes loud about hall passes after a second beer, and heads turn easy laughter rolling. Mike's mouth opens old reflex, then closes. His hand finds my knee under the table. He squeezes once a check-in. You good? He murmurs. I nod. Hard pass, I say soft. He tips his chin turns to the group. We're boring, he jokes, redirecting. We like one story. The moment skims past. An hour later, at the drinks cooler, a stranger leans too close, says, If he's not giving you what you need, I could. I snap the can open, crisp hiss, and answer, I have what I need. Mike steps up, but not in front of me, palm open near my elbow. Want out? He asks. Yes, I say, and we peel away together. By the fence line, he tucks his phone farther into his pocket and looks me dead on. Thank you for trusting me, he says. For the first time in weeks, the ground under us feels steady, right as my phone buzzes with a group text that could knock it loose again. That buzz from Claire's yard follows me home like static. Near midnight, my kitchen. Sunday ticking in. He leans against the island. I'm at the sink, running cold water over grapes. My phone lights again. Group thread a meme about hall passes, a string of laughing faces. He huffs a laugh too quick and taps a reaction. I flip my phone face down, hard, a clap against the quartz. Pause, I say, steady. He lifts a shoulder. It's a meme. It's a knife dressed as a joke, I answer. The GIF loops. The grapes squeak under my palm. He reaches for the phone. I slide it out of his reach and step back one pace, so he sees the space. Hear me. When you laugh along, it makes me feel small in my own house. He rakes a hand through his hair. I didn't think. Think now, I say. We promised repair within 24 hours. Start it. He opens his mouth, shuts it, then nods. Okay, I'm sorry. Name what for, I press. For feeding a story that cuts, he says. I breathe, shake the water from my fingers, and hand him a towel. Good. Tomorrow we sit and fix it properly. The towel drips between us, and the GIF finally goes dark. That towel on the counter marks the spot. Late morning at the dining table. Sunday, his notebook open, my pen uncapped, the dog asleep under my chair, the clock clicking loud enough to count. Mirror me, I say. I felt small when you laughed with them. You felt small when I laughed, he repeats, because I heard you choose the crowd over us. He nods and says it back slower. I chose the crowd over us, and when you called it nothing, I disappeared. He exhales. I minimized you. I am sorry. The words drop solid. What will you do different? I ask. He writes in big letters. No laughs at our expense. No asks. If it surfaces, pause, then repair. He tears the page out in one clean rip and slides it to me. I underline the last line and add one more. Reassure before bedtime every day this week. He signs, then lifts his hand and pauses. Can I? I nod. He laces our fingers and holds not squeezing, just steady. I see you, he says. The clock keeps time. I pin the page under a fridge magnet so we will not forget. Tonight will show if ink holds. For a beat, the house felt on our side. By Sunday night, my kitchen glows warm. He stands at the stove, I'm at the island quartering tomatoes. The cast iron snaps fat and bright. A wooden spoon ticks the rim. Let's make this ordinary safer, I say. I pull both our phones toward me, press their buttons. Dark slide them into the bread box and shut the lid. One firm click. He nods, twists the burner down, drags his chair to my side of the table instead of across from me. We trade 3 gratitudes like salt, you asked, he says. You were clear, I answer. You cooked? He adds shy. I fold a dish towel, neat edges, then hand it to him. Reassurance tonight looks like no options. No teasing, no minimizing. Say back what you heard. He breathes it out steady word for word, then sets a 10-minute timer and asks me what would make me feel seen tomorrow morning. A note by the coffee, I say. He opens the drawer, tears a slip, writes I see you, and tucks it by the filters. We eat hot knees touching under wood. Outside the cul-de-sac quiets. Inside the heat holds thin new reel. Tomorrow we'll test it. That bread box holds our silence like a witness. By Monday dusk, his porch swing creaks a soft rhythm. I'm in a sweater. He's a step closer than habit. Ice settles in 2 glasses. The street lamp hums. Check in, I say. Do you feel safe and seen? He considers not rushing. Yes, he answers, voice clean. You. I let the quiet sit a heartbeat scan my own body for an honest answer. Yes, I say, surprised to hear it land. He reaches not to steer, but to place the TV remote in my palm. Keep this a week, he says, half smile so I don't hide behind noise. I slide it under my chair, proof of intention. Say the words that matter, I ask. He does, no more asks. I respect your no. If it edges in, we say pause and fix it before it cuts. I nod and hand him a roll of painter's tape. He writes my no matters in block letters and seals it inside the cabinet door he opens every morning for mugs. Redundancy, he says, almost laughing. The swing ticks. We sip. For once the night doesn't press. 2 yeses stack like bricks. I breathe easier until the week shows up with sharper corners. The 2 yeses from the porch still sit warm. Then the week bares its teeth. Wednesday night narrow hallway lamp pooling soft light. I stand at the closet, mic near the door, and the zipper on a small overnight bag rasps once. This is not a threat, I say. This is clarity. I set the bag by the umbrella stand where both of us will see it. If that topic shows up again even as a joke or a hint, I step out for 72 hours. We pause us. Sunday check-in still happens. No contact before that. If it happens one more time after that, we end. Not a fight. A stop. I lift my spare key from his hook and place it on the entry table metal against wood, a bright tap. I tuck an index card into his palm. If it edges in, say, pause. Repair first. He looks at the bag, the key, the card. 3 small hard facts that do not blink. You think I will fail? He says. I think boundaries hold better when there is a real door, I answer. He nods once. I click the hallway light off. The bag waits in the dark, and I am ready to use it if I must. That bag by the door does not move for 4 weeks. Late Saturday morning. Trader Joe's hums carts rattling rosemary in the air. I steer the cart, he walks close enough to brush my shoulder. The shopping list folded tight in my fist. No hints, no options, no sideways jokes. Just groceries and small talk that lands soft. He checks his phone, then pockets it without unlocking. At the cheese case, he says, "Check in." I nod. "Go. I feel safe and seen," he says. "You." I scan my own body for an honest answer. "Yes." He lifts peonies and asks if those are the ones. "Yes," I say again. Back at my place, a note waits by the coffee maker. Same today, I'd choose us. He pours a mug and leaves it by my elbow. He does not fill the room with anything I did not ask for. After lunch, I carry the overnight bag upstairs and slide it behind the winter boots. Not gone, just not guarding the threshold. He notices and says nothing proud. He rinses dishes, sleeves pushed up, humming a tune he never finishes. For the first time in months. The ordinary does not feel like a test I will fail. Today, we held. By Sunday dusk, the house feels steady again. In my kitchen, peonies lean in a tall glass. The card rests under the salt. The tape inside the mug cabinet still says, "My no matters." I hang the spare key back on its hook and close the bread box on 2 quiet phones. Here is what I keep. My number is not a mood. It is a promise to my nervous system. Fantasy can be conversation by invitation, not a contract that taxes our trust. Intent is not impact. Jokes can make people small. Action beats apology. Delete the feed. Set the reminder. Show up when reassurance is needed. Repair before rupture. Pause before we bleed. Rituals matter when willpower flickers. A note by the coffee. Phones resting out of reach. Sunday check-in on the calendar. Redundancy is love that plans ahead. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks we both carry. If a line cracks, step back and fix the floor before you walk on it. All right. Let May be painfully clear. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a pattern. And it showed up fast. A stranger asked you something stupid at a bar, you said no, and Mark turned you from wife to suspect. That's red flag number 1, suspicion. Without proof. Then he started the classic toxic combo, moving the goalpost, demanding the truth after you already gave it, and treating your calm as evidence. That's not concern. That's control wearing a suit. And when someone blocks the exit, when your "I need air" becomes "Why are you running?" That's not love. That's a power test. The moment he rewrote the story, you pushed me, you escalated. That's gaslighting 1. Oh, 1. Not loud, not messy, just cold. Tidy cruelty. So here's your takeaway straight up. Your no is a full sentence. You don't audition for basic respect. You don't negotiate reality with someone who benefits from you doubting yourself. If you're hearing this and your stomach drops, trust that. Red flags don't get greener with time. To the villain of this story, karma doesn't need your permission. It just keeps receipts. And to you, sweetheart, this debt May clears it. But remember, these eyes are always watching. Don't let your name end up on May's blacklist next episode. Hit subscribe, because around here, justice doesn't show up late. It shows up ready. A final note from the library. While these stories find their roots in the halls of Reddit, they are artistically reimagined to speak to the heart. Any likeness to reality is mere coincidence. The emotions, however, are very real. Walk with empathy and let justice lead the way. Thank you for watching.